All right, everybody. We're going to go and get started. Dylan, our guest, is having a little bit of technical issues, so he will be popping on here shortly. We're going to go ahead and get through the intro and we will get it started. Hey, welcome everybody to Drunk Dudes in a Gun Room. Man, I am glad it is Friday. It's been one of those weeks, y'all. I don't know what kind of week y'all been having, but it has been one of those weeks. I am not gonna lie, man. So today's guest is a military veteran. He is a music. One second. He's having a few technical issues. It appears he has just joined us, but so veteran Dilan Pierce, his song that is on Gunroom Radio, and we're going to play it here in a little bit, is called Sunday. What's going on, Brian? Man, welcome to the show. Every day's a Saturday, man. Great podcast. If you all have not checked it out, you need to. I listen to it all the time. Without any further ado, let us bring on our guest, Dilan Pierce. Hey, Dylan, man, how you doing, man? I know we've been having some technical difficulties. Are you able to hear us? Yeah, it appears we're still frozen. It appears so. That's all right. We'll get him to pop back on with his phone, man, and we'll try it that way. But I don't know about you guys. Like I said, man, I've had one of those. I've had one of those weeks, man. It never fails. It seems like even when you have a short week, like I didn't go to work Monday, and well, at least I didn't work one of my jobs Monday, and you'd think that would make the week go by good, but yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you, it seemed like every damn day was Monday. I'm gonna start that podcast, Brian. Every day's a Monday. So coming up at 9 tonight, 9-ish, we're kind of getting a little bit late start here. I'm going to go live on the radio station. We're going to have some fun tonight. I'm going to introduce a new artist to the radio station. Her name is Sugar Rose. If you have not heard her music, oh man, you are in for a treat. We are going to play it tonight. Hey, it looks like Dylan is back, man. Let's go and bring him on. Hey, man, we got you now. Looking good.
Cell phone's definitely doing the trick.
Yeah, man.
Computer wasn't having it tonight.
Hey, that's all right, man. That's all right. Well, Dylan, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man. I told them a little bit about the song that we're going to be playing here in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm my name's Dilan Pierce. I'm from middle of nowhere, Northwest Ohio. Up out of Ada. It's the name of my little hometown. Still living up here. All that good jazz. I've been playing music here for a few years now, and actually getting out and doing it versus keeping myself at home and kind of hiding from the world. But yeah, I've been getting out playing shows at local bars and even some nice cool out of state places. And yeah, just trying to hit it hard and seeing where it all goes.
Yeah, man. I get it. So, did your music career take off a little bit after the military, or were you before military? Were you into music as well?
So I never really played much. I guess when I was younger, I had like one guitar lesson when I was 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
Quit for years and years. I didn't even play through the military, and
Yeah.
then when I got out, I really kind of started getting into it. I was probably out 3 or 4 years before I jumped in and started playing again.
Yeah, I don't think that's uncommon at all, man. There's a lot of artists out there, and I think that's one thing that is impressive about a lot of these veterans. That they're out there like yourself playing music and in my opinion just as good if not better than a lot of the people out there that have been doing it for years. The pace that veterans are catching on to songwriting and playing and performing is just it's incredible. Did you have any issues when transitioning as far as going into getting on stages and writing songs, or how was that transition?
Oh, I still get nervous as can be. I'm not really a crowds person. I
Yeah, yeah,
normally drink a couple beers to kind of knock off the edge, but I
yeah,
guess a little bit better. But I'm still, I mean, no matter where I'm going and how big or how small it's going to be, I still kind of get that nervous feeling and uh,
yeah.
get a little antsy about it all. But I guess it's kind of coming together better than initially when I started doing it.
Oh, absolutely, man. I had Sal Gonzalez on our show, and I asked him, I said, man, I would need to be damn drunk to get up there. I don't care if it's a karaoke machine. There's no way in hell I could do it. And he said, well, I have a couple drinks. He said, you got to warm up the vocals. He said, so I'll take a couple shots of whiskey before I go on. So I started asking, some veterans, and a lot of people. It's not uncommon. A lot of them do have a couple beers or have a couple drinks, whether it's really to warm up the vocals or calm the nerves. Either way, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It seems to be a little bit different in the comedy industry. I've talked to a lot of military comics, and they may or may not have one, but that's about it. So it's a little bit different. I'd have to really be drunk up there to be a comedian. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really personal right there. You're right there in the face of the audience. You're expecting a reaction from the audience. You sing, you don't get nothing until after the song's over with. But that, comic, as he tells that joke, man, if he's not starting to get, giggles or laughs in the middle of it before the punchline, he already knows, oh shit, I'm in trouble.
oh, it's especially the guys with that are doing like the on the spot stuff. Getting the crowd really involved in it.
Yeah, yeah,
How they do it. I'm not that on the spot with most of my thinking. I got to sit down and
yep,
run the brain a couple times before it comes out the way I want it.
yeah, yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you, I'm the same way. So, do you have you just been playing pretty much in Ohio, or have you started experimenting outside and looking for other venues, or are you still pretty much just local?
I for the most part local. I did go out and play. I got a good friend of mine from Genoa, Illinois, which is
Hmm.
I guess northwest of Chicago.
Yep.
And I went up that way last year for the Windy City Smokeout, big show they put on up there, and just a barbecue festival. Awesome time. But I ended up playing at his hometown bar and just packed this little place wall to wall. So that's really my one good out of state experience. But other than that, I'm pretty local to the western side of Ohio. I mean,
Mhm.
spanning down from like the Findlay area, I'd say clear down to like Cincinnati at this point. So
Okay.
it's a good spread. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
not super local, but it's mostly in the home state here. So
Yeah, and I'm a Bengals fan, man. So you already won me. I'm
yeah,
you said Cincinnati, I'm there, man.
yeah, it's a fun place down there. Different world,
It
even.
is. Absolutely, absolutely, man. So the song that we play on the radio station is called Sunday. Where was your inspiration coming up with that song? What
Um,
how did you come up with it?
so that one, that was a weird one because I tried writing stuff prior, and that was actually the first song I ever wrote, and I did it for the Gems in the Rough 2022 song contest. So it would have been right about a year ago now, a year and
Mhm.
maybe. But really, that kind of popped up because I started back into playing guitar after a bad breakup.
Okay.
Kind of just going through the ropes with all that and being single again after quite a few years of being with a gal. And I don't know, that one night drinking a couple beers, sitting at my desk playing guitar. I started off humming the first line of the song, and I was like, oh, I think I can go somewhere with this one. And that's what
Yeah.
I did. I wrote that in about, I don't know, a half hour, 45 minutes. Wrote that whole song, and I'm proud of it. Proud enough to release it and let people
Yeah.
hear it on all the platforms. So
Yeah, man, I love it, and it's funny, man. It's like when you're talking to artists and you're talking about how the songs, where it came from, you get one of two stories. There's no in between. It either came and was wrote, or it was like, man, I struggled with this, and it took me forever to figure out how I wanted to get it out and how I wanted to put it there. And for the most part, man, I think the ones that, like you just said, where you hum the first line and you're like, "Holy crap, this is it," and you just start writing. I think that's where it comes from, man. Because like Barbara Sim and there was another artist, Robert DePrado, I just had on last week, and same way, man. Some of his best songs was wrote just like that. They just hit him, and bam, he sat down 30, 45 minutes later, he had a song, and next thing you know, he was putting it out there. If you don't mind, let me go ahead and play it and let everybody hear it. Is that
yeah,
okay? All right. All
for me.
right. Here we go. This is uh Dylan Pierce with Sunday.
On Sunday, running from things I couldn't change, things my mind just can't erase. Damage done that I can't face. Girl, you got me in this barroom, making it feel more like my tomb. Now you're saying that I'm a bad man. Tell me the part where you forced my hand. Drinking alone on a bar stool, better than lying there next to you. Two broken hearts ran astray, a Bible and some whiskey on a Sunday. Got a little too drunk last night, went out and picked a fight. Fight inside of my own head. I wish all our memories were dead. Now I'm sitting here in this barroom, looking at the neon moon. I think it surprised you, all the things it knows about you. Drinking alone on a bar stool, better than lying there next to you. I wish you'd never come my way, 'cause I'm regretting every single day.
Man, oh man, that is awesome, brother. And I agree with Brian there from Every Day is a Saturday. I love some acoustic music. Some of the best songs that are played on Gunroom Radio is just somebody with a song that means something to them and a guitar and just singing it, dude. I love it. I love it, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Some of the best. I mean, some of my biggest inspirations come from that type of work and stuff. So it kind of went a long way with me, and you know what I've done.
Yeah, man, I agree. So what is some of the challenges with I mean, because going from the military to the music industry, I mean, that is a huge, huge uh big variation from what most veterans are used to. I mean, unless you sang for the president, or was in the military band, I mean, most people you go from a combat MOS or a combat support MOS to trying to put together a music career, man. How has that transition been?
Um, I it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, I really and still, I have a regular 9 to 5 now.
Absolutely.
And it's still like one of the biggest things for me is getting back into dealing with regular everyday people, because I was so used to
Yeah.
um, dealing with guys that are doing the same thing as me, and
Yep.
kind of talking the same way, acting the same way, a lot of times cussing for
Yep.
every other word in a sentence, so it was kind of big to kind of choke back some of that stuff, um, and just get back into to living the civilian life again. But I mean,
Oh
it
yeah.
came time, getting used to it and everything. It's definitely better off now than it was, 5 years ago when I was fresh out of the army. So,
Yeah. Now I'm still an HR nightmare. I
hey,
they, they know me by fucking first name basis, man.
I get you. I work for a small time uh, mom and pop motorcycle shop, and
Okay.
they're Harley Davidson dealer. But my boss is the owner. His wife is our HR department. So I mean, there's 7 of us total that work there. So I deal with them every day. I'm hand in hand with the owner of the business.
Yeah.
It all works out pretty good. And I mean, he's about just as crazy as I am when it comes to language and I just the way we talk, the way we act. So
Yeah. You should have seen the public affairs people when they heard about our podcast and they were going to they wanted to check it out and maybe do an article about it. Needless to say, we have not had a response back.
oh, geez.
We didn't ask; they asked. I told them, I don't know that you're gonna want to. I don't think you're gonna necessarily want to be. We're trying to be like church and state. We want to be separate from our jobs.
Oh, oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I get it, man. Other than the one thing I can see that kind of goes with this whole industry is you know, we do get that time in the military to be standing in front of, you're pushed to be a leader from E1 on up, whether you're just in charge of your little detail or whether you're in charge of a platoon. So the being in front of somebody and demonstrating and teaching and talking, I think you might go into the military shy, but when you come out, if nothing else, you can at least conduct an interview and make it through, especially with
Oh,
boards and stuff like that. Not that that helps you with getting on front of a stage in front of a bunch of people that are expecting you to entertain, the nerves would still be high there. That's a whole different category, but um,
Yep.
at least like you said, the talking with people and stuff like that, you know, it gets there. But yeah, the crowd part, man, I think that would be another issue. Are you one that usually kind of while you're waiting to perform, are you out there in the bar and around a bunch of people, or do you try to stay off to the side and just be yourself?
Kind of depends on the setting.
Yeah,
I've had a couple of places, venues that are more like green room oriented, more
yeah,
music venue style versus a bar. If I'm in a regular old bar, I'll be out talking to any and everybody that wants to hear what I have to say, or you know
yeah,
wants to get to know me. I think that's just a good way to be. I try to stay humble about it, and
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
anybody crazy because I'm really not. I'm human just like anybody else.
Yeah,
But yeah, and then even like the green room setting stuff, I still try to get out, especially when it's my friends' bands I'm opening for or whatnot. I try to get out and watch them do their set and everything. So it's kind of just a back and forth support thing together.
yeah, yeah. I absolutely, man. I think that would be important, especially with something like that. I used to play poker pretty seriously, and it's the same thing. You got to have running partners to support you through the good and the bad. And
So
I could see how that could come to play too. Because not every show is going to be roses, I'm sure, and the career, I mean, let's face it, the industry it's competitive, man. It's tough to get yourself out there to to not just but be your performer, but you got to be your business manager, your marketer, your everything. The behind the scenes stuff is the hard part. The getting up there and performing, that's the love part. That's what you probably love to do, but that behind the scenes stuff of let's see if I can send out 250 reels on Facebook this week,
yeah,
those types of things that that's just the world that we live in now. It has to be done, if you're going to continue to market yourself. And I'm not a social media guy or anything either, but man, it's just that, let's face it, that's the world we do live in. And I get it. I get it from a lot of the other artists too. They don't like that side of the business, and I can relate. I definitely can relate. Have you by chance looked at like an application with Operation Encore or any of those other nonprofits out there for veterans?
no, I haven't really looked at anything that area or anything. Um, to be honest, I haven't really looked into too much as far as like I'm assuming that's more like booking type deals to kind of help out with what I'm doing.
No, what they do is they select 3 to 5 artists a year, and then they pay to put you through like a boot camp with a top name performer. They record up to 3 songs, have 3 songs professionally recorded. And then the only thing that in return is if they have an event, they ask that you'll come back and play at their events just to help promote Operation Encore. But that's their main thing is they get you out there. They put you through a boot camp to work with vocals and the business industry, and it's usually like a 2-day event. It's usually somewhere in Nashville, and then they like I said, then they also pay to have up to like 3 songs recorded if you've
Yeah,
got the songs ready. And then after that, down the road, they also look at, you know, helping out with videos. They just helped out with doing a video for Shannon Book with Dear Mom and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's a great organization, but it's tough to get into. It's not military oriented. They take spouses, veterans. You just have to be in the military industry. You don't have to be a veteran yourself.
Somehow intertwined.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
haven't really looked into too much that area of stuff.
mhm,
Um, Said like that's the song Sunday I wrote. I did that for a song contest last year, and
yeah,
I same Gems in the Rough contest this year yet again. And they do some cool stuff like that, and that kind of leads into some of the other big name guys.
yeah.
Oh Lord, I can't think of the name right now. But yeah, they're Nashville area stuff. Like the guy that runs the gyms in the Rough Page and
Hmm.
HS, he's from Nashville, if I'm not mistaken. And then that leads into um, uh, another company. They or not company, but another group, Western AF, and
Okay.
win that contest. You go down, you do a shoot with Western AF. The gyms guys, you do a recording with them and everything. So that type of stuff's a little more my speed.
Yeah.
And I guess I try to stay a little bit more away from like the more mainstream like Nashville stuff, just because it's so like high demand and everybody wants
Yeah.
to go that route.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely, man.
really my taste, I guess. I don't want to feel like I gotta compete against a million people who would rather compete against me than befriend me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It
I'm in
it
it to make friends and just be able to hook each other up and do cool stuff
yeah.
together. In it to be better than the guy next to me.
Yeah, man. And that's kind of where I came in with guitar with Gunroom Radio was I just wanted a place to bring musicians together. I picture at some point, bringing the artists together virtually and us just having a jam session, and live streaming it and just having a damn good time. Throwing a few drinks back and each of us playing a few tunes and well, not me because I can't play shit, but y'all don't want to hear me play the clarinet. I promise you that. But but um that's at some point that's what I picture, is building the camaraderie. And I think that's the one thing, the I may not have been musically brought to, that wasn't my thing as I was going through the military, but I do remember, you know coming out the tents and the chews while deployed and seeing the soldiers, playing guitars and just having a great time. I remember seeing the smiles on their face because you don't see it all the time, when you're deployed, and you'd see them sitting out there playing the guitars, and people would be sitting around and just shooting the shit, drinking rippets or whatever, and um, I think that's a big part of what we miss, you know. So I don't think everything has to be. I don't picture competition, and if nobody will make it big because I did anything, but if me playing some music leads to somebody getting noticed or getting a gig somewhere down the road, then I call it a success. But for the most part, I look at this just to bring people together and try to help your guys' career in any way I can,
Right, right.
and that's what it's all about for me, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of that dirty side because the music industry is very dirty. I heard I was listening to a podcast this morning. As a matter of fact, it was the Every Day is a Saturday podcast. They had Sugar Rose on there, and she was talking about how just all they care about is the dollars. When you get with a label and everything else, it gets real not it's not personal anymore. It's just about what you can do for me. And so yeah, I don't want to be a part of that, man. So I do get it. It makes completely sense what you're saying, just to do your thing and enjoy what you're doing, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's not not everybody's like that. I've got some really good friends around here local that are just big into to hooking each other up.
Yeah.
Playing out in New Regal, Ohio, opening for a friend's band, Forbidden June, and
Hmm.
put out a whole album. I mean, they've got stuff they're doing. They're going to Whiskey to Go Go out in California like next month or something. So I mean, they're doing really good, and they're hitting me up, little old me, and they're, hey, you want to open for us this date and this date? So I mean, they're just awesome for that. And then I've got friends down Kentucky way and stuff that I mean, just some of the coolest people that you could think to meet and just talk to and be able to get right down with on their level. And then
Hmm.
oh, I've got 2 albums out and I'm way better than you or any of that.
Yeah.
They just more look at you as an equal, and that's just it's really big in my eyes for that type of stuff.
Yeah, there's another band that's on our radio station that's in your area. They're out of Cincinnati. I believe they actually live in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Um, Paul Frey is the vocalist, and he was the son of a veteran. He was not a veteran himself, and the band is called Van Taco. I don't know if you've heard any of their music on the radio station or anything, but yeah, they're the same way. They don't seem to be out there trying to rush Nashville or the big music industry. They're just man, they're just having a damn good time. They're playing local bars and just writing music about shit that's happening in their life. You know,
Like,
and I love rock. I love rock music, and they're more alternative type music. And so, I enjoy listening to them because I can relate, and I know their brother. So, I mean, I just picture the crazy shit that he does, and I can picture him doing the same shit. So it's one of those things, man, where I do get it. I don't think everybody has that. I want to sell auditoriums out and be the next Garth Brooks and turn this into a big business. JB Brown on our show said the same thing. I'm content. I'm happy. I just want to make a living and make people happy. You know, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, man. That is awesome. I'm a firm believer. If you're doing what you love, you're not working. It's a passion, and anybody that can do that is lucky as hell.
oh yeah.
I unfortunately have to wear a hard hat and piss off HR, but we all have our jobs, man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's all about having fun for me, and a lot of the folks I know. And if I meet people that it's not really the fun for them, that that's it's their whole life, and they just see that dollar sign. I really just don't try to hang out around them or
Yeah,
try to really do so much of the same things for them. Because I mean, me, I'll go to a place and maybe I'll have a slow night. I'll play in front of two people, or there's nights I've been on a stage in front of 1,500 people, and
yeah,
I mean, either way, it's good for me because I'm out there. I'm getting to play some music.
yep,
My own music, and even some cover tunes. It's just a blast. And
yeah,
if people start losing track of that, for me, it just I don't know. What's it worth doing what you're doing then?
yeah.
You
No, I
work
I,
work
I agree.
a old job and not have to grind as hard and
Yep.
double the money in some cases. So
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've said this, if I could quit my job and just live off my retirement check and not need anything else and do gunroom radio and podcasting full time, I would, because this is my passion. I love doing talking to veterans and talking to musicians and comedians and just all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of channels out there that cover the PTSD and everything else. And I try to be on that other side where I show people that veterans have dreams too. We're not just somebody you lock up in a cage and you say break in case of war. We have dreams and goals. Some of us want to be rock stars, some of us just want to sing, some of us want to build fancy ass cars and restore classic cars. Everybody has a dream. And mine was I wanted to own my own business, and I got to do that. So I lived my part of the dream, and now it's time. Now I want to spend time with the grandkids and just enjoy life.
yeah,
Slow down and just be happy. And I'm gonna tell you, man, this has helped me more than any therapy I've ever had. And since I've started talking to veteran musicians, I'm not gonna lie, I have found a little bit more from music than I had in the past. And I guess that's because I can now relate because a lot of the songs are military oriented and I can picture and I understand where the songs are coming from. This ain't just somebody that's standing up in front of a stage and say, I think this will sell a bunch of tickets. The people that are singing on our radio station are living these songs. These are stories from their past, or feelings from their thoughts while they were deployed or while they're in the military or whatever. Or in Rachel Harvey Hill's case, while her husband was deployed, she was the spouse at home raising kids while that was going on. Same with Sugar Rose that we're going to introduce here later on tonight. So I mean, yeah, dude, I get it, and I love the music. I love your music, and dude, not only do I push Gunroom Radio, I listen to it all the time. The guy in the cubicle next to me will not be quiet, so I put earphones in and I just turn on Gunroom Radio, man. So
yeah,
it's it's what I enjoy doing, and I don't have any algorithms. I try to make sure that everybody's music gets played, and I try to cater to everybody. I run that top 20 for the people that do want to be that competitive edge. I want to be that top number one person.
Yeah.
Where I'm trying to get some more DJs to actually come on, so there's more, so it doesn't sound like a recorded playlist, you
Yeah.
know. And if we get enough DJs, I'm going to run a top 20 for the DJs, and let the fans vote on the shows that they like. But for me, this is just fun, man, and that's what it should be about. This is about bringing the veteran community together, and listening to music, sharing stories, and having a great time. Brother, I'm glad you're a part of it, and I'm glad that we get to play your music. Um, where do you mostly do you post where you're going to be playing at on Facebook? Is that where you normally post at, or?
Yeah, yeah. Normally my regular Facebook page, I'll share stuff over to it, but I also have an acoustic page. It's under Dilan Pierce Acoustic. Is all.
Okay.
I was just trying to kind of separate a little bit of like the businessy end of everything from my regular Facebook, because I mean, it got to a point where I was like, man, I feel like I can't even share this stupid meme or something because
Yeah.
I got all these people that follow me on there that I don't know them. So
Right.
that was kind of my reason behind that. But yeah, I normally post everything on that acoustic page first, and then I'll share it over to my
Okay.
book. But a lot of times, like doing opener stuff, I've shared a lot of stuff on my page about this weekend from my friends' band pages and stuff, and their personal pages.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to be really active on there just to keep people in the loop. And I mean, it's cool to see the views and see, how far my advertising side of it's actually going.
Yeah,
So
man. I'm gonna make sure. I think I'm following. So I use Gunroom Radio and I use the Two Drunk Dude page to follow the artists. That way, I have two pages that I increase the likelihood that I'm gonna see it in my feed.
yep,
And I share everything, man, and I share it to both my pages. So if I see it on one, I share it to the other one, and I share it to that one. And I also tried to bring it up on the radio station to keep people informed. Where you guys are playing at, if there's ticket sales, where they can find tickets. Here in the near future, my plans are when you guys are having things that require tickets. I want to get to the point where I'm buying a few of y'all's tickets and giving them away to people in y'all's area. You know, just to
yeah,
help. Just to help push you guys' music out there and everything else. So. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I love what you guys are doing. I know it ain't easy, and I hope anything that we do makes it a little bit easier. And I love it, man.
yeah.
Just keep driving.
And I know I mean, people like you aren't a everyday come by either that want to support people and what they do musically and all that such. So it's really cool to come across guys and even gals like yourself that are actually so far into it and want to hit the share button and just want to
Yeah,
be. So I mean, honestly, thank you from my end, definitely.
I do you have a merch store by chance?
I had some stuff online. I don't currently. I know my
Okay,
lady. She said she was gonna pull it off just because it was kind of like an in between, timing wise, because she wasn't buying in bulk to get stuff
okay,
out, selling super crazy.
yeah.
If you were interested in a T-shirt or something, if I got your info and sizing and stuff, I could send you something.
Well, what I was gonna say, what I try to do is I go to each of these artists' merch pages too, and I buy a couple of T-shirts and I send them to your guys' house, and I have you guys autograph them, and then I put them in frames, and I give those away as well. So if you had a merch store, I was going to do the same thing. I was going to buy a couple shirts and send them to you and have you sign them and put them in frames and sell them. So if you do put one back up on there, let me know. And
Definitely.
so this guy right here, Eric Mello, he is the host of the Contagion Effect. I am sure you were about to get a an invite to their podcast. If you haven't been on their show already, but yeah, they have a great show. Eric and Mike are neither one of them are veterans. They're both of their dads were veterans, and they got one hell of a story. I'm not gonna tell it. I'll let them tell it. But man, I wish I had Mike's ability to put the show together. They do one hell of a job, and Eric is is hilarious as hell. He said he already sent the email. I told you, man. But yeah, they're a great group of guys, man. So if my show ever becomes half as good as theirs, then I call it success, man.
Yeah,
But
so trial and error. I'll trial and error. I don't think you do too horrible. I mean, I've been having a good time on here talking to you. So
I appreciate it, man. I do appreciate it. I like I said, I keep it fun because I enjoy it. I don't expect to be the next Joe Rogan. This is fun for me. I get to drink a few drinks and talk to interesting people and share music. I mean, hell, when I'm done with this, I'm gonna go live on the radio and act like I'm Johnny Fever from WKRP in Cincinnati. So I mean,
yeah,
what
yeah,
the hell? I'll find a Holiday Inn and I'll be somebody.
yeah. That's one thing I've noticed in all this. I mean, anything that involves you actually putting your face and your name on anything, it's like self judgment is one of the biggest and easiest things to do. I mean, I do
Yeah.
it myself all the time,
Yep.
even on stage with people. Yeah, I'll joke about myself, get them laughing and stuff. But
Yep.
it's a thing. I mean, even with releasing Sunday, it took probably a few handfuls of my friends to just keep beating me on recording that song and actually releasing it before I actually dove in and took the shot at it. So it's just one of those things like judging yourself. I mean, it comes so easy, and actually appreciating yourself and what you do. I mean, it's few and
Yeah.
far between. It's especially if you're anything like me.
Yep. Oh, when I first started podcasting, brother, I'm gonna tell you, dude, I was nerve wracking. If you go all the way back to season one and you look at when it was me and my old first sergeant that was doing this, you go back to those first couple episodes, you're gonna be like, what the hell is this? I mean, we weren't scripting anything, but man, we were like, we don't want to piss anybody off. We're not gonna cuss. We were not ourselves, man, and that lasted till like episode 3. And after that, we were like, "Fuck this!" There is a little button there that says for people that are not PG. Yep. So, we just started clicking that button and said whatever the hell we wanted to say. You know.
Yeah,
So I loved it. I wish my old first time would come back and be a part of it still today. But I mean, it was awesome. The name and everything. The two drunk dudes. That's where it came from. Was he owned a gun business, and we literally filmed in his gun room.
that's
And yeah, I mean, dude, there's ammo all over the place. There's guns that I've dipped. The Some of the ones back there, like that 22 that's up there, he's Cerakoted. There's one on the far end you can't see; it's camouflaged. I dipped that one. But dude, I loved it. We had a great time, and I mean, hell, we even enjoyed getting banned on TikTok all the time. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
but
can't.
I,
I've came that close to any of the band stuff. I think I got a couple Facebook ones for messing. Nothing too crazy on TikTok, but
yeah,
same thing with you. If I were to go back to your first episode, I mean, if you go onto my TikTok and scroll back, there's some rough cover songs on there. It was like, man, why did I ever put these out? And I just
yeah,
put them up there just because it's cool to see the progress where I've came from.
it is, man.
You're
Yeah,
cool to see your own progress. If you go back and listen to some of your old episodes and reminisce.
yep. And that's what a lot of people. I've had a lot of people. So I've been doing this now for about 2 years, and a lot of people I've talked to, they say, hey, I'm thinking about starting a podcast. What do I need to know? And I tell everybody, well, do you have any kids? If the answer is yes, your podcast is just like a kid. You're going to start it out, and when you start it out, you think you know where it's going to go. But as it grows, it's going to decide where it goes.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, when we first started out, we were bringing on friends, and then it moved to bringing on agencies and organizations. We were going to be about stopping veteran suicide, and
yeah,
then it was highlighting veterans. And now I have a radio station, and we have musicians and comedians and everything else on there. So all I can tell people that do it is enjoy the ride. Just sit back, have fun with it, and wherever the hell it goes, man. And I think music careers should be the same way, you know?
Yeah.
A guy was talking to me about his daughter, uh, is having a hard time writing songs. She wants to get in the music industry. I told him, I said, "I think a lot of people think that there's a way a song has to be, like you were talking about. Is it your song or is it Nashville's song?" You know? And, I think, if you can get past that of what you hear and try to think that you have to make, and just start making what you wanna make and make it your song, things are a lot better. Does that mean it's gonna be a number 1 hit and played on every radio station? No, but it's yours.
Yep.
It means something to you, you know?
Yeah. I'm big into the coming from the heart side of it.
Yeah, man.
There's
I think it's
a lot of
important.
heartfelt songs out there by a lot of people that don't have the recognition that I believe they should have yet, and I just don't understand. Like Nolan Taylor, for instance, he's really been coming up in the world, but
Mhm.
I mean, for the last couple of years, I was, how is this guy not selling out, big shows and
Yeah,
just doing great things yet? And now, like, to watch him, like he's finally getting his day, like it's just heartwarming. It's so cool because I know this guy is like good and
yeah.
he's got it in him. So it's just crazy. I've got one of my good friends. He plays some lead guitar for me around here. Really good guy, amazing songwriter, and it's just like, hey, how isn't he doing more than just the regular old local bar scene?
Mhm.
It's all a trial and error process once again. But I mean, once you start taking off somewhere with it, or a friend or somebody you even remotely know starts going, I mean, it's super heartwarming. I mean, to watch it all go that way.
Well, not to get into the business side of it, but, JB Brown, when he was on my show, he brought up a really good point. Um, back in the day, you really needed agencies. You needed pros like, BMI. You needed a ASCAP. You needed that other one that nobody uses anymore.
Yep.
Um, but now in today's world, nobody's selling CDs. You're not gonna make money from selling CDs. That's not, you know, you're actually, in a way, you're kinda hurting yourself by copywriting your music because, I didn't realize this until I got the radio station, but once I read the contract that I signed with BMI, I was like, "Holy fuck, man." You know, if I was a musician, you're taking it in the ass because, what I pay BMI, and I know they give you all a part of the 1.7% of my gross income that I make. You guys get a part of that. But when I looked at what I pay in royalties, it wasn't even a penny, man. It was 0.0022, it was less than a penny per song.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I played until I died of a heart attack, I'm not making any. If I played one song every minute until I died of making a heart attack, I'm not making anybody rich, you know? And in today's world, it's about Facebook Reels and YouTube Reels and Spotify and all these big online places. I mean, people can go from nobody to an action hero in just the right song being played at the right time and the right people seeing it online.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like the old days where you had to know so and so that connected you with so and so that was friends with somebody else that was somebody else's brother that got you into the Grand Ole Opry. It
Right.
it's not like that anymore, you know, because now you got all these people that want in your pockets that are watching all these reels and everything else looking for the next hidden gem, you know, in hopes that you guys don't sign with somebody else, you sign with them and you make them money, you know? So you can go down 2 paths. You can, do it yourself like you're doing, have fun, and, you know, try to gig and do what you can do, or you can sign with the devil and probably still make the same amount of money, you know?
Yeah. I mean, even like just even my own song releases, like Spotify, Amazon, all those companies, like it's like a fraction of a dollar, if
Yeah,
that, for like 100 plays or something crazy.
yeah.
So like, I went to release music and I wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna get rich off of releasing this song, because that's not the case,
Right.
But it's still like, it's the putting it out there just because maybe you need to hear that, or maybe you
Yeah.
hear it. I mean, I don't know. It's just the actual the love for what I want to do, and where I want to go with it. That, I mean, it just the dollar sign there on that song getting streamed doesn't really matter to me.
No, and I agree. Shannon Book has a song out there called "Not Alone," and I absolutely love it. His new song is, like I said, "Dear Mom," but the song that he has, "Not Alone," resonates to me. And dude, like you said, man, when the first time I heard it, I was just like, "Holy crap, man!" You know, and I had to hear it again, and I hear it again, and I have it in my playlist that I listen to on the way home. Um, I don't know how many I don't know how many plays it's had on Spotify, but probably half of them are for me. But,
Yeah,
you know,
better like mine. I mean, it's so cool.
yeah, but, I just think at the end of the day, you never know, like I said, you never know who's listening to it. It could lead to a gig, and I don't mean like selling out an auditorium, but it could, there's people out there like, I use this as an example. Last week, Robert DePrado was, on my show, and he had put in a uh, demo tape for a group called Leaving the Sidelines out there in Washington. It's a really good suicide prevention um, team. If you call and you're in crisis, they don't just talk to you on the phone. They literally drive to your house and sit with you until you can get help. So I mean, they're a small group. They're only right there in the Washington area, um, but they're having a festival, and they were asking for bands to send in a demo tape, and he sent one in, and I was like, well, man, I know those guys, and so I texted the guy that's in charge of it, and I said, hey, you know, you need to pull that guy's tape and listen to it. I don't know how many tapes you've received, but you need to listen to this guy. I mean, he was in the same units you were in, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
he's open for Brad Paisley. I mean, I don't know what else you're looking for, but you know,
big.
yeah. So I mean, and he's still active. So you're a military agency. You're fixing to have an active duty SF soldier that has already opened for Brad Paisley. I don't know what else you need. I mean,
Yeah,
that has your guys' name written all over it.
yeah,
So I don't know if anything came of it. He told me to send his phone number to that guy, and I did, and I hope they got together and came to terms on something. But that's what I'm about. I'm hoping that I can connect you guys with, somebody hears your music and reaches out and says, hey, how do I contact these? We got something going on at this VFW or this, this state fair or whatever, and it just brings on the opportunities for you guys. So I mean, I think that's what it's all about, brother. You know.
yeah. I mean, the whole support side, you know,
Yep.
sharing each other's stuff, you just backing it, and actually meaning it. I mean, that means the
Yep.
world, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, brother. Well, tell everybody a little bit about where they can find you, man. Where's the best place for them to listen to your music and find out where your next play is going to be at and everything else.
So I mean, Dylan Pierce Acoustic on Facebook's always a good place to check out. If you want to stream music, I'm on YouTube, Amazon, um, iTunes, and Spotify. I mean, all the major platforms. I'm on some places I've never even heard of, but they get streams, so it's cool. Uh, and I mean, I'm all over TikTok, posting covers and such on there. You can look me up under Dylan Pierce on TikTok, or even maybe find it from my Facebook page and some stuff I shared into Reels. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. And then, I mean, just local, follow the page. I mean, if there's something near you want to come check out, come and see me and come say what's up. Tell me you know me from being on the podcast here, and we'll hit it off. I'll probably buy you a drink, or maybe you'll buy me one and go from there.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, anything I see, I'm gonna share. So you can also follow us. Um, Once I get the webpage under control, I manage 2 web pages, so I'm only one guy, so it takes me a little bit of time. But at some point, my plan is to have each of you artists' your cover photos there and a link to your link tree or Spotify or wherever your main area that you want to send people. And then that way people can also hear music from you guys if they're trying to figure out who they want to vote for their top 20 or whatever. If they or I can't by my license, I can't have a on demand, but there's nothing that says I can't send them to a Spotify or something like that that does. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the next best option, you know. So, but I appreciate you coming on the show, brother, and I will make sure that I put all the links and everything to give the world out there. And make sure you guys listen to him on Gunroom Radio, and make sure you guys follow him on Spotify and on TikTok, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I appreciate you.
Hey, man. If you don't mind, just stand a little bit for a second and giving it time to upload, and then that way I'll have both audios so I can edit them.
Yeah. No problem.